continuing our practice on place value, and now we get to take our numbers and compare them, which is actually going to be really fun. We're going to be able to take apart numbers, work with numbers when you come in class. So I want to get these notes done so that when you come to class, you're ready to play with some numbers. So let's go to our table of contents, and we are going to write
compare numbers using greater than, less than, or equal to symbols. This will be on
page 3. Page 3, so let's write our objective for the day. So today I will compare numbers using the greater than, less than, or equal to symbols. Okay, so there's 3 symbols that we use when we compare numbers, and you're probably really familiar with these, but let's just go over them really quick. The first one that we have is our greater than sign. So I'm going to write greater than, okay? And that's where your bigger number is. So when the mouth is open, you might have learned like the alligator mouth in the earlier grades, but however you remember it, you just know that this equality opens up to the bigger number. So when you're placing this symbol, you're telling the reader or the mathematician that that number is greater. Now the next symbol we have is the opposite, and we call this less than. So when this point is facing a number, we're saying that it's less than or it's smaller than, okay? And the last symbol that we're going to look at is equal to. So we're going to write equal to, which means the numbers are the same, okay? Okay, when you're comparing 2 numbers, there are some steps that we need to follow in order to be successful with the problem. So I want you to write steps right below our symbols. So step 1, switch each number into standard form. So you might come across a problem where on one side you see a number in expanded form and on the other side you see a number in standard form. So I want you to make sure that you put each number into standard form, whatever form it's in, but I want you to place it into standard form before you start comparing. Okay, step 2. Line up the numbers vertically. So a lot of times you'll see the numbers are horizontal, so you'll see a number here, circle, a number here. I want you to take those 2 numbers and line them up vertically so you can see in the place value chart the value of each digit, okay? And then step 3, start comparing from greatest place value. So you'll see when we work through some problems that the greatest place value we know is the highest to the left, right? So your ones place isn't the greatest value, it's your millions place. So you're going to want to work from the millions place and on when you're comparing. Okay? And then step 4, use one of the comparison symbols. Okay, when you have these steps written down, head on over and keep playing, and you'll have some practice problems. Okay, so here are the problems that we're going to work through today. So once you have these problems written down, then unpause and get started on the rest with me. Okay, so let's look at problem number 1. We have 82,386, and we're comparing it to 82,384. So let's look at our steps. Step 1, switch each number into standard form. Well, for this one we don't have to. They're both in standard form already, so we can jump to step 2. Step 2 is line up the numbers vertically. So right now they're horizontal. So let's go over to some space over here, and I'm going to write the first number. So we have 82,386. And then we have another number, and I'm going to line it up vertically. We have 82,384. Okay, so now my numbers are lined up with the place values matching. So I have my ones place, tens place, hundreds place, 1,000s place, 10,000s place. Step 3 is to start comparing from the greatest place value. So let's look. We can see here that our greatest place value for both numbers is our 10,000s place. So we can start from the top, and we can look at 8. Is 8 greater than, less than, or equal to 8? Well, they're equal to. So when they're equal to, we just move on to the right and we start comparing, because 80,000 is equal to 80,000. So now we have 2,000. So we have 2,000 greater than, equal to, or less than 2,000. They're equal to. So we got to move to the right. We have 3, so we have 300. 300 is the same as 300. So we got to shift to the right again. Then we have 8, or 80. 80 is the same or equal to 80. So we can move to our ones place. Okay, so now we see that the two numbers are different. So I want you to take a different color and underline the value that you find that you are going to be comparing. So it's the first time that you, when you get to a place value and they're different, that is when you start comparing. So I'm going to underline my 6 and my 4. So I want you to think about whatever your favorite thing is. So if I am thinking about myself, I would say donuts are my number 1 priority. So I would think, okay, what would I rather have? 6 donuts or 4 donuts? Well, I would rather have 6 because 6 is more than 4. So even though all of these numbers are the same, it comes down to these numbers. So we know that 6 is greater than 4. So when we come back to our number, we can say that 82,386 is greater than 82,384 because 6 is greater than 4. Okay? So let's move to number 2. Step 1. Well, first we have 5,297,304 being compared to 928,126. So step 1 is switch each number into standard form. Well, they're both in standard form, so we can switch to number step 2. Step 2 is to line up the numbers vertically. So let's switch over to some blank space, and we're going to line up 5,297,304. Then we're going to do our second number, and we need to be careful. These numbers have different place value. Their largest place value is different. So when we look at this number, we know that it says 928,000. So I'm not going to line it up here because it's not 9 million. So I have to find this 100,000 and line it up under here. So 928,126. If you have a 0 over here and you're having to add, or you have like a blank space, that means you did not line them up correctly. So you want to make sure that your ones place is lined up because every number is going to have a ones place. So make sure that's lined up. Now, if it helps you, you can add a 0 here because you can look and think, okay, there is no 0, there is no millions placed. So technically they have 0 million, right? They only have 928,000. So step 2 is line them up vertically. We did that. Step 3, start comparing from greatest place value. So their greatest place value is 5. our greatest place value is 9. So if we shift to their greatest place value, we can compare it with a 0 because there's nothing there, it's a 0. So for me, I'm looking at donuts. I would way rather have 5,297,304 donuts versus just 928,126 donuts. So we know just in general math that 5 is greater than 0. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write that 5,297,304 is greater than 928,126. Now I want you to know that you can always switch these numbers. So let's say that 928,000 was the first number they gave you. Your symbol needs to change as well. So you wouldn't keep that same, you would switch it. So instead of saying 5,297,304 is greater than 928,126, if you switch it, it would read a little differently and it would say 928,126 is less than 5,297,304. Okay? So let's look at our last one. So we have 300,000 plus 20,000 plus 900 plus 60 plus 5 being compared to 395,605. So let's look at our steps. Step 1, switch each number into standard form. So we definitely need to do that with this because we have expanded form being compared to word form. So to make things easier for us, let's put them in standard form. And might as well line them up vertically while we're at it. So the first one we have is 300,000 plus 20,000 plus 900 plus 60 plus 5. So we have 300,000 plus 20,000. So 320,000, because if you added 300,000 plus 20,000, you would get 320,000. 965. Okay, being compared to 395,000. Okay, so they have the same place value. 395,000. So you should already be seeing a difference. 605. Okay. Step 3 is to start comparing from greatest place value. They share the same greatest place value, so we're going to start with our 300,000. Okay, we know 3 is the same as 3, so we're going to move to the right. Here we automatically see that the numbers are different, so I'm going to underline them. So let's look. I'm thinking donuts. You think what you want to think. So I would rather have 9 donuts versus 2 donuts. So I know that 9 is greater than 2. So that must mean that 395,605 is greater than 320,965. Even though like the numbers are kind of the same, they kind of try to trick you by putting in the same numbers. But I know that I would way rather have 9 donuts than 2. So I'm going to go over here. So now I know that 300,000 plus 20,000 plus 900 plus 60 plus 5 is less than 395,605. Okay, so let's draw our line, and this will be your practice for tonight. I'm going to give you 2. Shift this up a little bit. Okay, here are your problems for tonight. I'm going to give you 2. Here's your first one.
743,000 being compared to 1,003,407. Okay. I want to see that it's lined up. I want to see you underline the digit that you're going to be comparing. Make sure you have that symbol right there. Okay, and then your second problem is going to be 600,000 plus 50,000 plus 900 plus 7 being compared to 640,000 794. Okay, so those are 2 problems to come to class with tomorrow.